this is Levia right here.
Hi, Vi.
Hi.
This is Max.
Hi, Max. He's Max.
Oh.
He's 7.
I'm 5.
Well, that's great.
Are you in what, 2nd grade?
Yeah, 2nd.
Wow, she just started kindergarten. So we met you at the World Maker Faire, and we liked the products that you were showing, and Vi tried on the headset and looked through the robot's eyes.
Yeah.
So do you want to just talk about the products you have and what they do?
So yeah, we're Mimic Educational Robots. I'm the founder, Brett Pipitone, and we've just introduced what we call Mimic Arm. So he's here with us. He brought Mimic Arm for our chat. And it's designed to be an educational tool to teach kids robotics coding. It's convenient desktop sized, and it comes with an Arduino library and graphical coding environment so that kids can learn to code the robot quickly.
Yep.
And Max has had a lot of experience with that. Do you want to talk about coding the robot?
Show the controller.
Yeah, you want to show the controller?
So there's also the controller of the Mimic. They're hooked up yet right now.
Yeah, they're not turned on right now, but this is the controller.
Yeah. The robots are not quite turned on yet, but if we turn them on, maybe we could show you.
We'll show her how you hold the controller.
So this is the way you hold the controller, and never touch the gripper on this guy. Never touch the gripper. Never try to open it or close it.
Okay, so the part you had your hand on, that's the controller, and then the actual robot's a separate piece, right?
Yeah. But they are connected together with that wire.
Ah, okay.
So that way, you can use the robot in what we call manual mode, right?
Yeah.
And the younger kids can use the robot, and they get a result immediately.
Yep.
Now, when you're more advanced, Max, what do you use to code the robot?
So if you haven't bought the controller,
Or even if you have, you just connect it,
if
right?
if you have the controller, wait, which one?
Yeah, if you have the controller, you just control it like that, right? But if you take the controller off,
So if you take the controller, if you disconnect the controller from the robot, it'll still work, but you'll just have to use a computer.
and we code it with Mimic Block, right?
Yeah, Mimic Block.
Is that like its own programming language?
Yeah, like that. Also, and you can get some practice from code.org because code.org and Mimic Block are basically the same thing.
That's right. We use, based on Google Blockly, so code.org and Scratch and Mimic Block are all the same basic foundation.
Yeah.
So it's something that kids that are in school today are generally very, very familiar with.
It'll be cool. I have one of those things.
It'd be cool if you had a Mimic robot.
Yeah, one of those things. Have one.
With the pincher mouth guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
You
well,
can get drinks for me.
yeah, she's got running automated tasks already for her.
That's common.
Yeah.
This orange one, if you remember at Maker Faire, this orange one came with me. So you might have had a chance to see it.
She did. She liked those. She really liked the appearance. Although you had direct experience. Do you remember putting the headset on with the other robot? What is that robot? That's like different looking.
That's similar. That one is called Mimic, and it has wheels and it has special features.
What does that do?
So different things it can move. You can actually feel what he feels. There's that feature.
Really?
You can also do what he does. And the headset, that lets you see what Mimic sees.
Wow. So it essentially mimics what you do, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But there's a foot controller I had an idea about Go where Mimic goes, but I don't know if it's gonna work out so well.
We're still working on that part, aren't we?
Yeah.
To make it better.
We're still working on Go where Mimic goes.
The robot, we put it on Kickstarter last year, and it wasn't successful. So we're still trying to decide how to bring that to market.
Well, that sounds really cool. So is that one technically for sale yet, or is that one not?
Not yet. We tried to get the money to build the plastic molds for it, but we haven't found a way to do that affordably yet. So at the moment, it's our mascot and a demonstration of what this programming environment can do.
Well, go ahead, Vi, say something.
I was trying to say, how will they open the fridge?
Oh, no, it can't actually go and open the fridge for you, right? What does the orange robot do, the one that is for sale?
Yeah, so these little guys are not terribly strong, and the reason for that is because they're meant to be used by children. So it's very safe. They can't get pinched, can't get hurt by it or anything like this. So the technology, like with Mimic, right? Mimic's quite a lot stronger.
Mm-hmm.
You could certainly build a robot that could go and open the fridge for you. That used all the same circuit boards and everything like that. And the idea is to teach you the skills that you would need to program a robot like that.
Yeah.
So there you go. It helps you learn how to make your own robot to go and open the fridge, right? So that you can do it. You get this robot, it teaches you how to program and to build robots, and then you can build your own robot.
Yeah.
And he can be your friend, or she, whichever you want it to be. Because it's
She.
okay, it's a she.
They
Okay.
usually tell you while you're building them whether they're boys or girls.
When I get older, I'm gonna have a robot company too, and it might have some robots, and it will have some robots, and they can do like all sorts of things. I'm also gonna make them, and then I'm gonna put them in stores.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much money they're gonna be at. Some
We've got
are
a few years
cheap,
to decide.
some are some might be cheap, some will be on sale, some will be in like around the normal price. But then the really, really important ones, like, well, actually I'm gonna change that. Well, some will be pretty expensive.
Your company's going to be called Robot, right?
Yeah, robot.
So
So capital I robot, comma, capital I robot, exclamation point. That's how you spell my company.
in 10 or 15 years, look out, Robot.
Yeah, well, I think you guys are going, your generation, you and Vi, are going to be an amazing generation with all the technology and as fast as it's advancing. And as long as our generation doesn't ruin things until you, I think you have a really, really interesting future. And I hope I'm still around to see some of it.
It's a different world.
Well, what are some things that the orange robot can do? I mean, we were watching it at the Maker Faire, and it was, I think there was 4 of them there, I think, and they were all doing something kind of slightly different. And, you know, they're stationary, but they have a sort of little motion, and they're doing like little tasks. So
Right.
What all can they do?
The robots have 4 degrees of freedom, so it's real simple. It doesn't get too complicated, but the robot can look side to side. It can move its head up and down, and then it can move forward and back. And that's all controlled through either the controller that Max was showing you, and then it has the grippers as well, or through the set of commands.
Yeah.
And the commands are very simple. Commands like robot move, where you give each one of these degrees of freedom a command to move to a position.
Yeah.
Now, Max also said you can feel what it feels.
Yeah.
So it has a
That's a different robot.
well, but this
that's-
one does too. So
Oh.
it has what's called the patent pending Posifield technology, we call it, right?
Okay.
And that is a command. It's very simple. We use robot grab if you're not using the controller, right?
Right.
And that allows you to grab with a certain force instead of sending the gripper to a position. And that's
Yeah.
really handy because you can grab things of different sizes without changing the code.
Yeah.
And then you can also move the gripper wherever you want.
Yeah.
And what else, right? We also interface with buttons and with sensors, and we make it do all sorts of fun things. You can react to a button. You can record your motions on an SD card. You can have a sensor that acts like an eye that can detect a block and grab it. You can detect the color of a block, all sorts of fun things.
I'm trying to say, can those robots, those orange fellas, get bananas.
Get bananas?
Mhm.
I think that maybe they could. A banana is probably right at the limit of how heavy it would be able to pick up.
You could pick your banana up and give it to you.
Yeah. Now, you might remember, we do have a robot that's one of the more complicated ones that uses that special sensor that grabs the block out of your hand. You could do the same thing in reverse, where it grabs the block or the banana off of the ground and hands it to you.
A general question, because you have these for sale on the website. Can people get them anywhere else, like Amazon or eBay or anything like that?
Not yet. We're selling exclusively at our own website for pre-order now. They'll start shipping in November. We're in discussion with a lot of retailers, which was a very pleasant surprise at Maker Faire.
Maker Faire is obviously like a pretty big stage, and I know you've been to other Maker Fairs and stuff like that. If you're a parent though, and you're trying to give your child a sort of leg up on technology, what's a good way to compare like STEM kind of oriented toys and devices like your own,
yeah,
in order to pick something that's really going to be, you know, useful from an educational perspective as well as being fun?
Well, that's a really great question, because there's a lot out there, and there's a lot of really great stuff out there. The way that we've done Mimic Arm, it's meant to grow with the student. So there's really no limit to how complex these programs can get. It's simple enough. Generally 4 or 5 is about when the kids start to be able to get it. So, and it carries you through, I mean, well past high school.
Right.
So that's the big advantage, is having the graphical programming environment and then also the Arduino library that the older kids are able to use, and the sensors. Where I think we are unique, for one thing, the robot doesn't roam around. It's stationary and sits on a desk, so it doesn't have wheels. So you can have a lot of them in a classroom, or if it's in a tighter space like an apartment. And then its ability to grow with the student. It's, I think, one of the better products out there that's able to grow with the student.
I'm going to switch over to screen share here and get myself out of there. Okay, so just looking at the website, which is mimicrobots.com, and you're also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. But if people come to the website, you have your social links. And I just wanted to point out and ask you about, you have 2 different basic places here to go. One is for makers, one is for educators. I assume makers is kids, and educators, what do you have for educators?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And makers can be any age, anyone that has a need for a robot arm, but of course the kids are our focus for this robot. Yeah, for Mimic Arm, excuse me.
Yeah, Mimic Arm, not robot arm.
Now, for educators, that's a great question. In addition to the robots themselves, we're working with teams of professional teachers to develop that goes kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, a 15-level curriculum with projects, group projects, teacher projects, self-study projects, as well as a series of utilities, such as the button we mentioned, such as the sensors we mentioned, things like that. So the teachers, a lot of them, these folks are very, very busy, and they can just get this package, and it's ready for all their students at all ages.
Yep.
All the lessons are ready for them. All the lessons are ready for them, and everything that they need to perform the lessons comes in those packages. Go ahead, Max.
So, also, Mimic Arm is going to be in my STEAM class. So it's just STEM, but
Your
we
STEM class,
added
right.
that. Yeah.
And the A is for arts.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Max's local school, Hyde Park School, we'll be dropping off the Orange robot with them on Monday, and that is a K through 6, right? Kindergarten through 6th grade?
Yeah.
K through 6 school, and they'll be trialing that for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. And on the maker side, I noticed there is, and it's actually really affordable, surprisingly really affordable. And there's also like a couple of different levels of Mimic Arm. What is the difference, and what should like the beginner get? What's a good starter one?
Yeah, so most makers are going to want to assemble the robot by themselves. I really recommend people get the robot plus electronics plus controller. And the kits, they come unassembled. It takes about 2 hours, maybe 3, to put one together. And most of the makers, you'll find, will want to put it together themselves. But if you're buying a robot for a younger kid that maybe isn't able to put screws together, and the parents or grandparents aren't really interested in building it for themselves, we do sell them assembled as well. So those are the main packages there. Also, you'll notice the great big button has just hit the website. We're adding sensors as we go here, and you'll start to see a lot of sensors start to come on there, and you can buy the sensor you need for your project.
How long does it usually take to send a package out? Just like with Christmas coming up in a couple months and everything, how much lead time would people need to give you if they decide they want to order one?
The pre-orders will ship in November, so plenty of time for the holidays. And then after that, we'll be sold out for a couple of weeks while we build up inventory. And once we hit volume orders, we'll be accelerating to the point where it'll ship out the day you order it, and we'll be there within a few days.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's all I can think of at the moment, but I really like the products. I like both kinds, and Vi really did too. She liked the little white and yellow ones, and also the orange one. She calls them giraffe robots.
Those are great, aren't they?
I can't make my robot do my school.
No, you can't. Because you have to already know what to tell it to do for it to do things. It can't think on its own.
That's right. You have to know the answer already.
I don't really know if that's gonna work out well.
When you know all the answers, you should tell your robot.
Well, I bet you could do that, yeah. You already know all the answers.
Robots have a speaker or a microphone.
Well,
in there.
you can add that to them. You can add that to them.
Yeah. Maybe we could make another robot that does
Yeah,
that.
the input box has a microphone right on it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah? Oh, that's cool.
That's in development too for this year. It was a lot of fun, right, buddy?
Yeah. I'm actually gonna be in March.
Yeah, you'll be 8 soon, just like that.
Yeah, she's in January. She's going to be 6.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Day is that?
That's about 2.5 months. You'll be 6. So you're almost 6.
Yeah, almost.
All right. Well, hey, thanks again. And I won't take up any more of your time. But thanks. Hey, it was nice meeting you both. And fun future ahead of you.
Thanks, you too. We'll talk soon.
Yep. See ya.